What I'm saying? It's like, nah. But yo, this is PSA. Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support Grace, Social Activism, Resources, and Art. I am the assist, African support and strength, inspiration and success together. Like always, shout out to my sis, my right hand sis, the queen, Raw Cannon. Shout out to all the cannons always. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother, the exec. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get a car, y'all. But you know what's crazy? Me not having a car, I'm just in better shape. Cause I be walking around. You know, being in a car make you think you was outside being active. You really just was riding around sitting. You really was sitting down all over the hood. Like you just ride, you know what I mean? He's just sitting there for real, for real. It's in the car, it just make you think you've been active. Like I was outside. Excuse me. I was outside. You was in the car. Living a very sedentary lifestyle, which is like smoking cigarettes. So I'm more active. It's a better environmental footprint. You know what I'm saying? My carbon footprint is not that heavy out here because I'm walking. I don't really have a commute to work, which is a beautiful thing. I could walk to work in the morning and get a good workout in the process. You know, so I'm saving money. You know, no car. Commute is nothing. I don't have to pay for SEPTA or anything. Not that anybody pays for SEPTA anymore. Who pays for SEPTA anymore? At least not on Broad Street. Nobody pays for SEPTA on Broad Street. They just don't. They just Brody the bus or the sub. Fuck it. Come get us. That's how it's looked at. You know what I mean? I still be trying to put my coins in there when I get on the bus. But the bus is it's just overstimulation for me. It's just too much. Like you really get to see our people in a very crazy light on the bus, on the sub, on the L. Oh my God. Like sheesh. And I used to be catching the L, like, you know, you look at old shows, I'm sure I talked about it, but I used to be catching the fucking bus from West Oak Lane to Chester. Ain't no getting there earlier than an hour and 40 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes used to be fast. If I can get from what, or either way, Chester to West Oak Lane or West Oak Lane to Chester, hour and 40 minutes. That's fast. So what I'm telling y'all is normally it's a 2-hour trip. And just at night, being on the bus, being on the sub, it's radical on that joint. Motherfuckers smoking, shooting up, prostituting. It's just a lot. Motherfuckers trying to sell you shit. Like and it's like, shit, I don't want, no, bro, no, I don't want none of that. You serious? Motherfuckers robbing niggas I remember I was on a sub one night, and young boy was robbing all the white folks, bro. It was like, it was just crazy. Like, he just robbing people on the sub, and I'm like, damn, this is wild. He was sitting next to motherfuckers to pull the gun out and be like, yo, let me get all your shit. And it was like 4 white boys, you know what I'm saying, sitting like in the far corner. I don't know if they was college dudes or not. But it was just wild to me that he was just going from car to car, like, getting motherfuckers, sitting down next to him, like, yo, let me get that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, please don't sit next to me with this shit. But then he got to like the end of the cart, and I think somebody was like looking at him. One of the sisters was looking at him like, what is you doing? And he must have knew what the look was, and he was like, man, I'm only getting these white people. That's the time he was on. And it was crazy to me because I'm like, damn, he just going from John to John, robbing motherfuckers. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is what happened. This is what poverty does to people, yo. You know what I'm saying? This is what poverty does. And then it's funny because America is just one of those places where, you know, infamy, fame, like, it doesn't matter. If you could get your money and get away with it, they will write books about you. They will, even if you don't get away with it, they will put you in some type of folklore. But, you know, motherfuckers that done got away with it, like Rockefellers and J.P. Morgans and people like that, the Bill Gates and what's the other millionaire motherfuckers, Bezos and Elon Musk and all these motherfuckers who did vicious shit to people to accumulate that much money. Shit to the environment, families, people psych. Like, you just beat people down and keep your money. Like, it's wild. It's capitalism for you, you know? So, I had so many things, yo, in my life, because y'all know this is my therapy. You know, I don't have a guest today, which is cool. You know, I got guests lined up. We got, the first thing is I did something really dope. I love whenever I can go stand in front of college kids and tell my story. Like, and lecture to them. Because I'll be watching professors like, I know all the shit that you're telling them. And you're not even explaining some of these things fully correctly, but you on the right road. So it always be dope. So I've had a chance to speak to young folks at Eastern University, and I really need to start documenting this and putting it down. And I know my professor friends, because I have professor friends. I have several of them too. It's crazy. You know what I mean? My dogs is people with PhDs and master's degrees. That go one of the master's degree people right there. You know what I'm saying? In the middle. My right-hand sister, Raw Cannon, Queen, Nick. You know what I mean? That go another one of my college-educated people right there, professor. He teach at Temple, James Wright, right in the middle. I talked to his class. It just happened like that. I didn't make it come over there and do that. But he teaches a class called Guerrilla Altruism. Look it up. Guerrilla Altruism at Temple on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he's, you know, what I do in my everyday life, my real life, my personal life, my professional life, I'm actually a guerrilla altruist. Because I don't like guerrilla altruism. If you understand what altruism is, again, look it up. And I think it's spelled altruism. Altruism. I might have spelled that right. Look it up. But it's like, you know, giving. It's basically like giving back, you know, doing for people, service, things like that, being altruistic in the way that you do things. And then the guerrilla part is kind of like anywhere it can go down, you know, kind of like guerrilla warfare. You know, guerrilla warfare is any type of warfare. It's any and everything. The element of surprise, having a whole bunch of people, guns, knives, you know, it could be urban, it could be in the jungle, it could be in the desert. But guerrilla warfare is kind of like it shapeshifts. It don't really have a form. You know what I mean? So guerrilla altruism is like you don't need structures in place to be able to take care of people and look out for people. So when I was giving out food at Whiston Madeira, I wasn't getting paid for that. You know, a young lady that I was working with, at first she was getting the food source. Then I figured out getting food sources is not this big thing that I thought it was initially when I first got into doing nonprofit work. And for anybody that want to get in the lane, one of the easiest ways to get some type of recognition for doing nonprofit work that might get you some grants and stuff like that is cleaning, because it's very visual. It's always needed. And if you can organize like a cleaning once a month and you start putting it on Instagram, like who don't want their environment cleaned? Especially if they don't have to do it themselves. So cleaning something or a particular place and videoing it, having like an event around it or something, and you don't even really need an event. Just come out on a particular block, 1 or 2, 3 people, y'all wear the same t-shirts or something like that, or all wear the same color t-shirt, and just go and start sweeping up and stuff. I'm serious. You know, there's a lot of opportunists in the game, so I know motherfuckers is maybe just using this information to be opportunists, but if you really trying to get into nonprofit work in Philadelphia, and in Philadelphia, nonprofit work is different than any other place in the country. Maybe because Philly is the largest, the poorest big city in the country. I like telling people that. And 45% of the people who live in this city are black. So if this is the poorest big city, who you think are the poor people? So, but because there's so many issues around poverty, yes, the money, around poverty, you have a lot of money to give to people to try to do what? Prevent those things or reduce those things, or, you know what I'm saying, end those things. But the money on the other side is bigger than the money on this side. So it's just like a, you know, and the other side get more money and they get this side more money, but the other side's still up. You know, the bullshit Obama would tell y'all, rising tide raises all boats. Yeah, and we all still in the same position when the tide rides. So if I was behind everybody or down lower than everybody and the tide rise, my money might have went from 50,000 to 100,000, but his money went from 250,000 to 500,000. So we in the same spot because the same motherfuckers is in control because they got the money and the resources. So that's, you know, just when people be saying stuff, you really got to try to dissect it a little bit. I understand. I'm probably going to get some pushback about, y'all know I'm not an Obama fan. Like, stop it. That shit was symbolism of the highest note. I don't, you know, people want to change the argument, you know, well, it was the Republican Party, and all right, then how the fuck did Bush go and do whatever the fuck he wanted to do? He didn't care. He was going to keep doing shit and keep having y'all just having to, he going to executive order it, or he going to push the legislation, he going to push the policies that he want. Whatever part of power that he got, he's going to influence it. He was one of the first people that I really, and I'm sure it was presidents before him that was like, man, fuck what y'all talking about. I'm in the seat. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do. But then that motherfucker Trump pulled up on y'all motherfuckers and really said, nigga said, I'm a lie when I feel like lying. I don't give a fuck that everything is videotaped, that y'all can go back. That my life has really been documented since, what, his 30s? He come from an influential family, an affluent family. You know, Trump started with 3 million. If I remember the story correctly, his dad gave him 3 million and said, go figure this shit out. That's what if I remember it. Somebody might be able to tell me something different, but that nigga ain't come from struggle. So he was put in position somehow. Just being a fucking white man. This is be real. Like this shit is what it is. Don't be offended about the truth. That might be my new joint. Because every space I go into, I be telling people like, I'm on black shit. You know what I'm saying? So I went into this. I had this little lecture I did today with Swarthmore College. Shout out to Swarthmore College. You know what I'm saying? The work that they've done with us with Eddie's House. They want to continue that. So they got a whole group of children, young folks coming in. They are learning about environmental justice, and they wanted me to come down and talk about my connection to environmental justice, what we do at the center. Of course, I gave them a little bit of me and what my situation is and where I come from to kind of show them how, for me, and I'm the one in the space, can't nobody really debate it because I'm the one that I'm in the space. Like, for me, how special Eddie's House is, you know, by giving me an opportunity. When I was around other people in other organizations that for all intents and purposes was, you know, more long-standing than Eddie's House, you know, got a name for being around, and they seen and knew that I did the work. You know, one of the folks that I work for, you know, that run the organization, he was a professor. He was a political science professor at Temple. And, you know, I teach identity and critical thought. I teach that. I don't just talk about it as like you know, this is something I want us to be doing. Because I do want us to be more in the identity. So we can't just fall for anything, and we got something to hold us together, that identity. So even when we disagree with each other, we don't fall all the way out because we know we got to do this for whatever our identity is, whatever our flag is. You feel what I'm saying? But then, on the other hand, critical thought, because you need to understand outcomes. We need to be able to think like, if I do this, these things can happen. You need to know how to assess risk reward. And I know they say you don't fully get that until you're 25, but you can groom people, because people move in patterns, especially young folks. They're very malleable. Look it up. They're very malleable. And it really comes down to what you're teaching them. Any holes that's left in your children, that's a gap you left. Or you having a lack thereof, where it's like it's just you and nobody else to give additional information or buttress the information that you're giving. Or add, correct, clarify the information that you're giving. You know what I'm saying? Like, these children come to be because of us, yo. So, yo, damn. And I'm not going to forget that I was talking about Swarthmore College in the lecture. Listen, dumb fucking niggas that be at these nut-ass gas stations protecting this shit for these folks who ain't nothing going to happen to them, and your whole bullseye is on little black boys, young men. Now, I'm not saying young boys is not doing what they doing, but you know why they doing what they doing? Because your ass, these fake ass security motherfuckers that be at all a gas station, why you don't go secure the blocks like that? Why you don't go talk to some block captains and some of these black-owned businesses that we got in neighborhoods because of poverty that are a little shaky? Why you ain't making sure they cool? Why you ain't getting a relationship with these young boys? And maybe, you know, they see you in the net because you know they'll fuck around and tear your ass up if you stay out there too long with the gun hanging around. You know Broad Street and Lancaster Avenue is good places. Ain't too many people going to slide up there and want to go through a gunfight with you there. But you go around one of these neighborhoods talking about, I'm out here and these young boys out here acting crazy and it's black on black crime. It's no fucking such thing as black on black crime, y'all. That's some Republican conservative shit that they use to try to get poor people to blame themselves for the issues that those motherfuckers create. If y'all wasn't treating each other so bad, we wouldn't no, the reason why we treat each other so bad because y'all treated us so fucked up first that we out our minds in most cases. I deal with it every day. I do. I have for a long time. They fucked us up. We fucked up. And we are. And because I understand that and I understand what happened to my people, I have grace. In the face of shit that I probably shouldn't have grace for. You know what I mean? But I know. But there's only a certain amount of time that a motherfucker gonna be able to take that type of shit. Cause I don't give a fuck when nobody say. Anybody that know me, that been around me, they know, man, at the core of this shit, man, I be trying to make sure motherfuckers is good. Now, do I always succeed in that? Nah. But I think my percentages, like I like to talk, is pretty high. So you might be able to find somebody to be like, damn, he was supposed to do X, Y, Z for me. He didn't get it done. It happens. I apologize. That wasn't my intent. My intent is always to get it done. My intent is to be 100%. Even though I know I'm not going to reach that. But I get a lot of motherfuckers along the way. Family, strangers, blood, day ones, day twos. I heard somebody say something about, just in passing, on Instagram, I heard somebody say something about, nah, the day twos really wind up being your real friends. However the day two happened, not saying we never have day ones that stay being your friend, but day ones is kind of like family members. He said it. He was like, you grew up on this block. You ain't get to choose those people that you call your day ones for the most part. You know, we do kind of be like, it's a number of people on the block, and you might gravitate to a certain group of people on your block. You know what I mean? Depending on how big your block is and how many people your age or whatever is around there. You know what I'm saying? So you can still kind of pick and choose, but you can't because you was born on this block. It's kind of like neighborhood beef shit. Like, how do you not pull up for your neighborhood? Like, you got to be around there. You know what I'm saying? And what you need to do if you don't think the shit that you're going through around your neighborhood makes sense, you need to go to motherfuckers in the neighborhood, and we need to change how we moving as a block. Because the shit you do really do affect me. You do some nut shit, motherfuckers gonna come around and shoot this block up. And my house, my car, my kids, my family, myself, you know, we can potentially be hurt by the shit that you doing, and it's coming. That's how deep this shit is when we be trying to act like we don't fuck with people. You got to. We social by nature. These people gonna affect your life whether you want them to or not. If your next door neighbor is on bullshit, the chance of your house being a part of some bullshit is real. So you could fight them, you know, if that's what you want to do. Or you could try to force some type of relationship with this person where it's like you could be like the ear or the clear eye or the clear thought that they need at times. Stop trying to be so, I don't fuck with them. Everybody, I don't fuck. You lose more when you on that shit. People be talking about this Joe shit. I don't care about, I'm Joe. I was some kids was walking on Broad Street yesterday. They was trying to take a selfie. It was like 8 of them. The little girl was probably the smallest person. Your arm not long enough to take a picture of all these people. So they trying to do it. So I just, you know, I'm walking down the street. I guess I was looking like a weirdo or something, I guess, because I was dressed, I was sweatpants, boots on, shit, probably looked a little crazy. Had my bag, my backpack on. I did some shit I never do. I normally don't walk around, but I was taking my speaker home from my office. And that'd be a funny thing for me, too. Like, when I be walking on Broad Street, most times I think I be looking crazy. I be looking kind of hit, you know? And motherfucker wouldn't even know, like, yo, this nigga run a whole fucking center. And he got a couple other things that he run and that he do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't what you think. But anyway, I had the fucking speaker on. So now I'm looking like one of them, you know, walk down the street music boys singing and shit. You know what's funny? I gotta say this. And I ain't forget about Swarthmore College. I definitely gonna tell y'all about that. But it's like, remember, and this is not funny as in what's happening to my people, right? But it's funny, it's just a view, something you've seen, and how culture really influences everything. So remember when the dude, because it was normally a dude, it wasn't too many women that I seen doing this when I think about it as a young boy, sitting on my step on 18th and Master and shit, and just watching 1826 West Master, just sitting there and watching people like walk by. And I remember the boys who were what they call like touched back then, or, you know, he had a nervous breakdown, because remember that was the joint, like he had a nervous breakdown. And that meant he had like some type of mental health crisis, or, you know what I'm saying? So the dudes who were like, I guess like off a little bit, they used to be singing, they would come down the block, you know, singing like Mike Jack and shit. Like that used to blow my mind. Like people walking down the street, and people that, it wasn't all people that was like going through some type of mental health issues that would do that, like walking down the street singing and shit. Like, but I always just be like, damn, I don't know if I would have the heart to do that shit. Now I don't give a fuck. I'd do it. You might see me dancing somewhere like, look at this, what's up with this bro? But it used to trip me out, right? Because everybody used to come like singing Mike for the most part. And you could tell they was a little going. They was a little shot. You know what I mean? But now all the shot people I see, they sing gangster rap music. They be walking down the street singing some gangster shit, like some rap shit, and it blows my mind, because I'll be like, you ain't never listen to Common? You could be walking down the street singing Common out your mind. It's just a funny thing to me. I was like, damn. Then this was the 80s that I'm talking about, you know what I mean, when I was living on 18th and Master, and I really used to pay attention to it because it's something I really used to do. Sitting on my step, and I would just watch. You know, I was people watching, you know what I'm saying? And people were, you know, it's a lot of color in just black neighborhoods. I was about to say in poor neighborhoods, but it's a lot of color in black neighborhoods. So you know, if you're a kid, you could get a lot of like I didn't need TV as a kid. For real, I didn't. Master Street was enough for me, yo. Yeah, what's going on? Who's saying what's up? It better be one of them young folks who I told they better be watching the show later. I don't know. Explain yourself a little. I appreciate the what's up, but I need to know who this is. But good looking. My one viewer, y'all. So when I pop, this is how I'm going to determine who going to get money. I was telling Ern this shit last week. Like, I'm going to be checking my views and my followers. And if I ain't seen you, I don't know if you can even go back and do that shit for real. But I was thinking like, ew, this is the way you get motherfuckers off your top when you blow. Like when I was in the grind stage, and most of y'all don't realize I already blew. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad y'all ain't watching this shit. Leave me alone. But anyway, it just blew my mind a little bit that, you know, me being 45 years old, and I've been able to see a wide range of culture shifts and changes. And it's just funny to me that when you were shot out in the 80s, you sung Mike Jack. You know what I'm saying? And then when you shot out in the damn, I was about to say the 90s, and you shot out in the 2020s. Woo! Ain't the car supposed to be flying already? The Jetsons was making up shit. But anyway, so it's just funny to me that that's what it is. Like, motherfuckers used to be crazy on pop music, and now motherfuckers is crazy on drill music. Because I be like, damn, you can't sing no Grand Poobah. Because I seen a brother like my age, and he was but I see a lot of it on Broad Street. And for me, you know, in a more serious note, it's a men's shelter up the street from the center. You know what I mean? And it's the gambit, yo. And then to see what's happening to black people, yo. Being on Broad Street and watching my people, my young folks, 30-somethings, my peers, people old, excuse me. And it'd be crazy because a lot of people be my peers and they be looking like they like 60. Like motherfuckers I got all this gray under here now. And I'm gonna tell you who did it too. I don't care what type of shit. Black women did this gray shit to me. Because I was around a bunch of motherfucking dudes for 20 years and came home with 3 gray hairs. And I was proud of my gray hairs. In 5 short years, I don't even know how many I got under here now. It ain't take over my whole face yet. But look what y'all did, black women. And all I was trying to do was love y'all. I still love y'all though. Like I can't do nothing but y'all for real. Like it just is what it is, man. Like I love black women. I love women. But yeah. My mom, yeah, listen. I was raised by him. I was groomed by him. They gave me the love and the sensitivity that I show people right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have been a whole nother type of motherfucker without that from black women. And I don't even like to think about the motherfucker I would have been because I wasn't always the goodest motherfucker to begin with. Again, my percentages is good. Most people that know me from any era, from any time frame, wherever I was at, they really do know me to be a good dude, a decent dude, a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't mind being a nice guy because I'll fuck you up. Like, you can start acting like, oh, now you can get over on it. I'm not gullible. I'm not slow. I'm not none of that shit. I'm just being nice to you. And because you are dealing with trauma, you don't know how to deal with somebody being nice to you. So it's took as something slick. And if it's not took as something slick, then I must be slow. I must not be on game because why else would I be being nice to people? Which is crazy to me. But it's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. It's all about who you're being nice to. That's what it really comes down to. And when people are not receiving the love that you're giving them, you just got to get out the way. You don't got to start being mean. You don't got to start being petty. You don't got to go outside yourself. Just get away from them. Get away from them. You don't got to talk bad about them. You don't got to do none of that. Seriously. If they not receiving what you're giving them and it's love and you know it's like proven it's positive. Like, no, like me, I'm the type of dude. Like, again, you're not going to run into too many people that be like, no, boy, really just be trying to make sure motherfuckers is good. Black people in particular. And I'm good with that. But some people, again, we traumatized, man. Like, we've been through some shit in this country. I'm reading this book right now called Without Sanctuary. Like, I've read it, but I never got a chance to, like, end that joint. You know what I mean? And now I got my own book, and thank you, Rita, for the book. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But it's graphic, yo. Like, the shit that done happened to black people in this country, yo. And I know we come from, it's that thought process of, I don't want to know. I don't want to tell it. I don't want the kids I don't want to try. Listen, if they know how to deal with this shit. Because if you don't tell them, they going to fall right into it. It just look a little different. The lynchings look different now. You know what I mean? Because the other thing that's been figured out is how to punish you, and your brain keeps that comfortability of thinking that you okay. Because your brain will make you delusional to lower stress. So you'll believe things that are not true. Your brain will make you in order to lower the stress levels, whatever the stress is coming from. And you got to fight against that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the John in the desert, the mirage. Fatigue does that. Hunger, thirst does that. But the reason why your brain is making you see shit that ain't there is because your body is under a high level of stress and it's trying to regulate itself. And the only way that it can regulate itself is to make you believe you seeing something that's going to make you comfortable. So you moving, thinking you seeing some water because your brain recognizes that you're under so much stress because you're hungry and you're thirsty and you're hot and you're fatigued. One or all four. So your brain will make you think that, and then you'll be following, just walking and walking and walking the whole time. It ain't what you think it is. Your brain just doing that to you because it's trying to lower the stress. So back to Swarthmore. So we've worked with, Eddie's House have worked with Swarthmore College probably like 2 or 3 times. They helped us with our enrichment program. We had like a solar program with the enrichment and beforehand. And we were doing, we had the rocket program when the kids was making a rocket, and they was kind of in a competition to see who could make a rocket that would like take off. Actually, it wasn't even about the rockets being faster. It was like who could build a rocket that could actually go into orbit. So that was the whole competition, and the children did well, and they had fun. And me, I'm big on skill set. Like, you need a skill set of some sort to be self-sustaining. You yourself need to have something that can sustain you. Preferably stuff that travels. You could do it anywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? So we worked a lot with Swarthmore College. Our relationship is growing. Now we have a situation where they have children that's doing a class on environmental justice again. And really, how does race and capitalism, merge or intersect with environmental justice. And it's like understanding certain things that affect you, and they're only in communities where black people are, or as they say, people of color. I don't really like the people of color thing. I'm more like, say who the people you're talking about. Like, people could say that, I could say that about black people, and I'll be like, African folk, descendants of the slave South, because that need to be understood. And you could say Chinese folks are in these communities, or Latino folk, or Latinx, as they say. I got to get up on all of my labels. But I really got to talk to like real people on the ground, because sometimes we hear things and we think that's what it is, but it's really like the dominant culture telling these people, and they just rock with it to be accepted. So it's like the Hispanic thing. I've ran into a lot of Latino folks who don't like being called Hispanic. Like, I'm not Spanish and I'm not Hispanic. I'm Dominican. I'm Panamanian. I'm El Salvadorian. I'm Ecuadorian. That's what I am. I'm not Hispanic. And the Hispanic thing was kind of like a thing to associate in America, is really a way for light-skinned, pale, or more like pale kind of looking skin Latinos to associate with the dominant culture. They kind of like look at it like we white folks. And they take on their policies. But a lot of people move to America. And it's kind of like a thing where it's like, it almost makes sense. Like, why would we rock with y'all? Y'all taking the L in this joint right now. These people are in control. So why wouldn't we intermingle and marry and name ourselves and try to be more like them? I'm just being honest. Even though we know all of the color, all of the substance, for real, it come from y'all. But y'all losing. Because they taking all y'all color and substance and packaging that shit and selling it to us. So now we feel like we more y'all than y'all. And still look down on y'all. Dress like y'all, talk y'all, and then be like, these niggas. Like, wow. America's a motherfucker. But Swarthmore College, they're doing this thing on environmental justice. Environmental justice is very important because it's ways that people can be, it's so fucking crazy that you even use the environment for this shit, but it's ways that you can do racist shit through the environment to cause, produce outcomes in our people. So, like air quality. Why so many black people be having asthma? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that a thing? But one of the things that happens in our neighborhoods, we very rarely have enough green spaces. Our blocks should be lined with trees as well. That improves the air quality. You wouldn't believe what having good air quality would do to your thinking, to your mood. And then, you could be living in a food desert. And, the Dominican store on the corner is not filling in the gap. It's just not. It's cheap food that's overpriced, and it's convenient because they know you have no other way to get food in this neighborhood. And then that's why you'll have 2 or 3 of them block. Even though black people believe, if I'm doing this, nobody else should be doing it. If you in my lane, you hating, you stealing my shit. Like, no. The more of us that's doing it, the more people gonna come to get the service. Because they looking at it like, if I walk down this block and there's 3 stores down there, 9 times 10, I'm gonna be able to get what I need. Although these stores is the same type of store. But more people are gonna just come down to this area because they know those 3 stores is there. And in return, all of us is gonna eat, yo. Even more than we would have ate if it was just one store here. And the other one was 10 blocks away. For real. But that's just shit they be playing on our heads and making us think we can't really do shit together, and there's always got to be some inner bullshit that's going on. So, Swarthmore College, they doing a lot of stuff around environmental justice. So it's more about creating green spaces, creating gardens, locating the things that are harmful to the environment, like oil spills all over the neighborhood, tires and stuff like that. Vacant lots that's dirty, abandoned cars. Like, these are things not only that will bring down your property value, but it gives you this mindset that this neighborhood shouldn't be taken care of because it looks crazy. It's not clean and things like that. So they want to make sure that they're in these neighborhoods. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have maybe like 1 or 2 of the young folks ride with our credible messengers, maybe be the one to record the environmental piece that we do as far as when we go to a neighborhood based on an incident, or even not when it's a community sustaining part, because what we do with CCIP is incident driven, as in somebody getting shot or something like that, but community sustained. So I would go to the house of the person who had got shot and make sure that family is serviced in whatever way, not just predicated on gunshot. No. Do y'all need housing? Do y'all need better housing? Do y'all need rental assistance? Do y'all need jobs? Do y'all need education? Do y'all need mental health help? Do y'all need, trauma-informed care? Like, what is it that y'all may need to kind of try to bring some healing back to this home? But then we step out from the home and we canvass the whole block. So we talking to the neighbors, we dropping stuff in people's doors, information, resources they can get back with us. We engage in anybody that we see on the block. And then after we do that, now we looking for environmental stuff. Is it alleyways that need to get clean? Is it lots that need to be clean? Is it cars that need to be moved? You know what I'm saying? Do we need trees on this block? It's things like that. And we have a pretty decent relationship with 311, so we can kind of get things a little quicker. Whereas though it might take the people on the block calling a month to get a car removed. It'll probably take us 2 weeks. So I'm gonna have the young folks from Swarthmore College. They're gonna be like moving around with me, moving around with folks at the center, seeing how a nonprofit works. That's like just basically like a resource for just about anything. How does that work? Then I have a garden. And shout out to my nephew. Shout out to Stan, the farmer that was on the show. Shout out to Elizabeth and Life Do Grow Farms, for helping me put my small patch of stuff together. And I wound up eating stuff from the farm. Like my nephew made some spaghetti out of all the tomatoes that we grew. And we had some scallions and onions and stuff like that. And it was dope, man. Then I cut some of the onions out. I had made myself like an egg sandwich. And I cut, more of the onions. We had some purple onions, you know what I'm saying? So it's a fucking, what they always say, it's a vibe. It's a vibe to eat food that you actually grew. Like going to your garden, picking your stuff and eating it fresh. Like you know what I mean? Like that, I hadn't done it before. I ate stuff from a farm, but not stuff that I grew, not stuff that me and my folks actually put our hands and feet into the soil, and it produced for us the way the soil has always, if we don't scorch the shit and over farm and try to commodify every goddamn thing. Let the motherfucking planet breathe a little bit. And then we'll be able to breathe. So, yeah, I hug trees and all that too, if y'all didn't know that about me. I get into all that. You know what I'm saying? I really do get into the environment. I'm not like the most up on everything, boy, but I know the shit that's cooking us. The plastic and the ethanol and then the food is, everything is corn. Do you know it's multiple types of corn, like colors of corn? Do you know all corn is not yellow? And then when you see it during like the seasons that's coming up, it's not just decorative when you see colorful corn and shit. Like corn really do come in, or maize really does come in all of these fucking colors. And y'all playing with this shit so much that it's just yellow corn and y'all making all this stuff with it and y'all feeding it to the animals. Like how the fuck they feeding how they feeding salmon corn, man? Don't eat that farm salmon, yo. I'm telling y'all, don't eat that farm salmon, bro. That shit is, when the fuck does salmon start eating corn, yo? You like what? And that's the shit that create the diseases too. The salmonella and the mad cow. Because these animals are eating foods that their bodies are not built to digest. Sounds like somebody. It sounds like black folk who are the descendants of slave South, we were given a diet, a new diet. Black folk really didn't eat meat before we came on these shores. The reason why we started eating how we eating, because we took on the eating of our oppressors. And they come from an environment where meat was king, because that's really all that was out there. So they had to be on meat. You know what I mean? Vegetation, you had your wheat and your barley and all that type of shit. But you ain't have the full range of vegetation like you had on the continent. 2,000 different types of fruits and vegetables grew on the continent before Europeans came and started fucking with the shit and taking shit to other places and all that. But it was 2,000 different kinds of fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices, bro. We didn't have to eat meat. It wasn't a necessity. For what? Why? When I could just walk around and just pull shit off trees and bust that shit open right now. Why would I even want to go through the whole thing of killing and skinning and well, why? When I got 2,000 different fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices at my fingertips all over this month, because we equatorial people, so everything was around the equator. It thins out as it goes further out because the environment is just not right for that type of growth on all of those different levels. But at the equator, it's right. It's ready. So as a part of the environmental justice, John, having these young folks come, they're going to be volunteering at the center. They're going to be volunteering in my garden. They're going to they're going to volunteer with the Credible Messengers. They're going to volunteer at Stan's Reentry Farm on 49th. I think it's 49th and Girard. I don't want to get it wrong, but check him out. And we're going to be taking them around to Life Do Grow Farms. I got to go around there and check in with them tomorrow just to make sure that everybody is up on, because I'm kind of just shouting this out, and they probably like, we never talked to Swarthmore College or whatever. So I'm going to go around there and have a conversation with Elizabeth, and they do a lot of amazing stuff around Life Do Grow Farm. I'm trying to get Elizabeth on the show, but she is wild busy. I seen how it looked to be a director of a multi-faceted farm, because they do a lot of stuff and they grow a lot of different things. Like they got corn growing around there. Like they got this little small. It looks so crazy though, because I'm used to seeing corn growing, acres and acres and acres. That's how I'm used to seeing it. So to go around there and they had like a little small square patch, and then you get to really see how tall corn actually grow, because it looks a little different when you're in a car and you ride and buy it. But they do a lot around there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go around there probably tomorrow. No, definitely tomorrow. I'm going to go around there and have a conversation with them. And, we can all be on board. Excuse me, what is going on? So I got to tell these young folks a little bit about, what I do, where I came from, my history of, being in prison, and how I met Miss Marion at a RCI circle. And then we just been rocking and rolling since then, and how she has empowered me. She's not one of these gatekeepers that try to restrict you from the information so you don't get past them, or, they don't want you to be in the light that they don't want you in, or they want to control what information you're disseminating. It's like, nah, I'm going to be very transparent with you. I'm going to tell you how this shit works. When you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, I'm going to pull your coattail, and I'm going to let you go ahead and rock out with it. And we, as they like to say, we have made beautiful music together. You know what I'm saying? So the kids is going to pretty much be going through everything that I do at the center. I always tell people when I'm talking about the show, because I told them about PSA, make sure y'all check it out. So I got like 10 new followers right then and there, because I kind of like brodied them. Like, no, I'm not letting nobody leave out here till everybody follow my Instagram. And make sure you check out the show tonight. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They might check out the show. They might not. But you can always go to the link in the bio and check the show out. Y'all know the show come on every Tuesday at 5. You could go on Instagram, check it out anytime. But every Tuesday at 5, look at the link in the bio. You're going to get the show from that week. Our Instagram is at PSA_community. You probably not going to see too much lifestyle stuff. I don't really post that kind of stuff. You might see a few things about my daughter here or there. I don't really do too much with like posting her all crazy. It's mainly going to be jobs, things that I think is interesting for the black community and the community at large. Things that go on at the center. Like we try to put some stuff that goes on at the center. A lot of events that's going on. A lot of people that I know is out in the lane. When I get a chance, I like to try to put them in my story. Like, I just don't got time to like do it, because I have other people doing it. And we kind of all been slacking on it lately. You know what I'm saying? It's not that social media don't matter to me, because my 1,000 people who follow me, like I literally met those people for the most part. I never wanted to do none of the like boost your numbers, to play the psychological game with people, that more people is paying attention to you and you more important than you actually are. And then that make people want to follow you, because they see all of these other people following you. It's like, well, something must be going on that I need to follow them. I never wanted to play that game. I wanted people to be able to see what I do. Follow me because I was out giving food or giving clothes, or I was out teaching or lecturing, or you see me out collaborating with some folks or supporting some folks. Like, rock with me, rock with PSA because of that. Like, look at my Instagram because of that. And I literally can go down my Instagram and remember meeting these folks at food drives, at food giveaways, at the center, on blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who've come to the show and they brought people with them. Like, for a minute, I know people probably think this is slow growth, but I was doing events pretty much every week alongside with giving out food. And I literally was like, every weekend was getting like 5 to 10 followers, like every weekend. And it was a slow, you know, because when you think about it, it's 4 weeks in a month. So that you're going to say that's 40 people. And then 40 times 12 is 80. What's that, about 1,200? It's about 1,200. 40 times 12. Is it 1,200? My math is off right now. I should know this too, because it's 80, and then 0, and then 0, 0, and then the 4. So it's like, is it 4080? I think it's 4080. Yeah, it is 4080. So it's a slow burn, and I didn't even do it every weekend. So when I look at people who follow my story, like, I really could locate. Now, I am starting to get the fake pages, and I was told by my daughter and a number of other people, like, listen, because I feel creepy going and looking people up if I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't look at your jaw and be like, oh, I know them, and I kind of look at the story or whatever. But if I don't know you, it feel weird to follow your story or look at your story, because then you're going to see me looking at the story, and, you know, it's a whole bunch of shit that ensues when people be looking at your story. You know, when people be breaking up, and the motherfucker be talking to their phone and shit, looking at Instagram, hoping the motherfucker that they don't fuck with no more is in their story, only so they can say, why the fuck you following my story? We don't even fuck with each other no more. You was looking at your story today hoping you would see that motherfucker. Cut it out. This is a bullshit game that goes on, and I've seen too many people doing it. You know you want to be able to go to your joint with the person that you just stopped fucking with for whatever reason, and they in your story. You knew you wanted to see them in there. But you gonna pump fake in front of me like, why the fuck is they in my story? I don't even fuck with them like that. Stop. Stop it, please. You was happy to see them there. It's just like the ladies who be like, motherfuckers be living in my DM. Yeah, there's some of y'all that enjoy it. And there's some of y'all that secretly enjoy it, and you could never say it. And nobody would know. But y'all like being able to look in the DM and be like, oh, nigga's still there. I still look like something to a motherfucker in America. But the situation with Swarthmore College, so I was telling them a little bit about what we do at the center, all the different things we do, and how they would have to, you know, follow suit with what we do. Because really at the center, like, I be dressed kind of crazy because I really can go from being like, before I came to the show, I was just interviewing somebody, you know what I'm saying, for a position with CCIP, and it just be crazy to me because it's like, all right, I'm at the center early in the morning, I got to check all these emails and shit. All types, collaborators, people inviting me to stuff, events that's going on, people that we helping, my co-workers, my executive director. Like, I got all these. And then with the CCIP John, we get all the Johns from all over the city about, you know, people getting shot and all that. So that's like first thing in the morning, I'm checking all those emails when I get up. And then I might have like a virtual meeting that I gotta go to, like Microsoft John, Zoom John, whatever, with like my organization or another organization. Then after that, like, I get to the center, I gotta kind of walk through the center, see what's going on there, what I need done for my staff. I could ask my staff to do it, but normally they be on their shit, so shit already be kind of done. I appreciate Carlita, you already know what it is. Mark, definitely, I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we go through that. Then I might sit in my office and I got another virtual meeting, or I'm talking to somebody, and then I gotta go down to Swarthmore. No, then I got the briefing for CCIP. The briefing. It's a briefing. It's not a meeting. 20 minutes. That's all I need. Tell me what you're doing for the day and keep it pushing. Y'all can discuss all the stuff out in the field. That's how, I just need my notes. That's all I need. So I'll do that. Briefing can, shit can be wild. Cornerstone is a place. Cornerstone is a fucking place, yo. But I'm so proud. I enjoy it. And I know this is you got to deal with people, man. You got to deal with them. So anyway, I go do the briefing, and I go through that whole thing, and then I got to go speak to these young folks, these college kids. And it was only one black young lady in there, different people of color. And it was like, for me, it's a cool experience only from this standpoint. Is like, I know y'all probably got some thought that y'all starting to develop wherever you identify and how you identify and where you be and the culture you come from. And then here I come. I'm going to crack that shit open if you don't know what the fuck going on. And I love it. And people don't be challenging me because they be knowing, like, I don't just be making shit up. You know what I'm saying? And if you do have a legit John, I'm going to rock with it if it makes sense. So I'm having a conversation with them. So they were real open to it. I seen like 2 people falling asleep. But from what I understood, I came at the end of the day. Even their own professor was like, I just be going in on them sometimes, just rapping, And it's pretty dense subject matter for folks that age. And then what even makes it even more dense is that these are real things that's going on in your world. It's not like abstract historical thought where it's like this was a thing of that time that we not really dealing with anymore, that you're learning about. What you're learning about is this history that created, like, in a very real way, what you're dealing with right now. And to be a young person and just starting to get real clarity on what these things are, that shit is different because it's going to change the way you move in the world. You just can't get this information and it not change you. And like I said, the class for, was on environmental justice, but it was talking a lot about race and racism and capitalism and how they work in consort and how one actually created the other so that people can maintain power. You know what I'm saying? I gave them a little brief rundown on that from my perspective. I told them a little bit about my jail time. I don't really like telling jail stories. I'm not like, that's not my thing. I don't, I talk about jail, but I don't really be going into the jail stories. And even in a serious or a negative way, or a serious or a joking way, I don't be wanting people to ever feel like, from me, I'm not saying other people are not doing this or are doing this, but for me, I don't like telling those stories because I don't never want to take how deep the shit really was. Like I don't want to play with it like that. I know we can tend to be able to adapt to things and thrive. I could tell you some funny shit that really did happen in prison. But a lot of the funny shit in prison was because it was so surreal. Like, I couldn't believe that this is happening right here. Or it had happened in the jail. Or it would be like systematic shit, like shit that I read, and then I would see people play it out. The guards, my brothers that's in jail, like, I would see these things that I read. Like, I read a Naeem Akbar book, about the mindset and the psychology of black men. And then go outside and it would play right out. And I would read about like the mindset and the psychology of Europeans who believe in the oppression. They think that this is really like, no, it ain't really you being, this is what's supposed to be done to you. As a black person, as a nigga, this is supposed to be done to you because I'm different from you. I'm better than you because I'm white. And they have really been taught that lie. I was telling the class that, like, this shit ain't just about what black people know and don't know. We also, again, because of capitalism and the creation of racism in this way, that whiteness is a creation that was used to sever the people at the bottom who were starting to work and amalgamate together. And we couldn't have y'all do that. No. Because then y'all will overthrow us. So now we got to create something that's going to create that vision in you. And it's crazy because that chasm is, or chasm. So, and then they did it with black folk. So they did it amongst the races and the nationalities, but then they went deeper and went into our shit and created shit, light skin, dark skin, man, woman, old, young. Y'all done heard all that before. The put them against themselves. And right now, that shit with black men and black women, ooh, sheesh. But this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. Me and my daughter was talking about something, and I talk about this a lot. Like, in the 90s, you know, black men was the 3Ds. Deadbeats, down low, and dogs. And a lot of what our women, they're positioning towards us because of how we were, because we really were like that. Now you got to be mindful of how did we get like that. You got to be mindful of that. How did this black man that you talk of in the 90s, how did he get created? What was his programming? What was the agenda towards him or against him? You feel me? So anyway, but this is what you heard in the music. You seen it in our movies. You seen it in their movies. You even had intellectual thought with feminists telling black women what a black man was and how they need to deal with black men. Right? And it created some fuck shit. I'm just going to tell y'all. I can look at it right now. You can see. But when I went away and came home, now women are the new niggas. Y'all the new black men. Y'all the ones going to jail more than anybody else. The girls is getting expelled more than any. Y'all act like men from top to bottom. Like y'all, I'm independent. I punch on a nigga. I dress like a nigga. I talk like a nigga. Like I'm the nigga. I'm a control the relationship. Like, but this is the funny shit for me. This shit didn't work when we was doing it. When black men was really doing this nigga shit, it didn't work for our communities. We went to jail and left y'all. We was on some dog shit. We ain't want to be faithful. We was on deadbeats because we couldn't get real jobs and we ain't had no education. So motherfuckers was deadbeats. And then it became a psychological thing because you went through it with the women so much, you just like, man, fuck you. You made it like this. I don't want to be here with the kids because of you. Because in certain situations, I wouldn't do it. I just put up with the shit for my kid. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't be with the woman. But and I'm not saying brothers who women be so toxic where it's like, bro, I can't be around my child because it's more detrimental than it is me being there and dealing with this shit with the mom and arguing and fighting and cussing. What is that doing to the child? I'm not even able to spend that real time with my baby. So it is a real thing for sometimes this shit gets so toxic that I got to get away. I can't even go near my child because of this woman. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. We all fuck that money up, men and women. It ain't nobody got the up. But the problem is now all the fuck shit that the men was doing in the 90s, the women is on that shit now. All of it, from the violent shit, the scheming shit, the sneaky shit, like it's all the same shit. And my thing is funny, even in the music, looking at them, talking how they talking, emulating men. And it's like the shit didn't work for us. How the fuck? You ain't even wired to do some of the dumb shit that men was doing. You ain't even got the emotional capacity. You just not wired that way. So what would make you think that this family and this relationship shit gonna work with you acting like the niggas who fucked the shit up from the beginning? I don't see how that makes sense. But this is the funny shit. Now you got conservative men, black men. And everything is the black woman's fault now. So in the 90s, it was these women listening to feminist white women telling you everything that's wrong with the black family is the black man. And now you got the reverse. They getting us, y'all. Because women really is moving like men from the 90s. And they don't know it. They really moving like that shit right now. And you got conservative black men who listening to these conservative white people telling you that the reason why the black family is in shambles, is in shit right now, is the black woman's fault solely. The same way they did it with the black man. Now the man, the man is funny too, because I was like, we was all those things, now we being coddled. Now it's like the black man put up with so much. And you know why the women doing that? Because they the niggas. And you being coddled because you a bitch. That's what we doing out here. Shout out to Carlita. That's really what's going on. And I know I would get some flack for this. Y'all niggas out here looking like dykes. Work out, nigga. Do a push-up. That's why it's so easy for these women who identify as men, like they could easily look like you. They got the gut like you. They got the dreads like your hands, pants hanging off their ass, and everybody got titties. That's why I've been in the push-up game crazy. I said, because when you get older, your shit just naturally just start like sagging. Everybody's shit. I said, no. We got to fix that. Nigga got to lose some weight. You got to start pulling that shit up and pushing that shit up like you been doing. Walking. When I leave here, I'm walking home. Yeah, I'm walking. I do it. That's my new shit. Like last week, I just so happened to have a ride. When I come up here, I walk home. And if you know where I live at, just say I walk to the center. And if you know where the center at, you know that's a walk, but I do this shit on purpose. Y'all, Sarah, you just wanted me to say your name up here. You better not be doing nothing you ain't got no business. Because you be trying me all the time. All the time. And I don't know why y'all be trying. I'm talking to my kids right now. I don't know why y'all be trying to outsmart me. Y'all know I was a kid before, right? And I was a smart kid. And now I'm an adult, and I'm a fucking smart adult. You're not going to get over on Uncle Jarue. Just stop. And I didn't forget that I was supposed to whoop y'all ass for ripping that fucking thing open on my step. You thought I forgot, didn't you? Because you didn't get your ass whooped. I didn't. So, shout out to Yasir, Walid. They all doing amazing. I know school just started, but I just love seeing kids, young folks at the beginning of school. It just, don't quell they shit, yo. Don't do it. Oh, shit. Don't quell they shit. Like, they be so, I'm going to do great this year. And then somewhere along the line, y'all, we fuck them up. But I got Hassan, hype about school. Yasir, hype about school. Walid, hype about school, not playing about this thing. Bino, who want me to beat him up because he like 13 and he getting a little, he don't never have his shirt on. He's skinny as shit, but he got a little muscle tone, so he think he ought to keep taking his shirt off and shit. It's funny as shit to me, but he be trying me. He want me, cause I be feeling like he don't think this shit feel like it look. Cause they look at him like, damn, Uncle Jarue big as shit. But he don't never be, he just be talking shit to us. He be yelling at us, and I really be mad or upset or frustrated. But I don't think fucking y'all up is always the answer. But I will whoop your ass. Like, fucking you up is one thing. Fucking you up, for me saying it, is abuse. An ass whooping is corrective behavior. It has to happen. You don't got to beat your kids to death. But you got to put some fear in them at a certain age so they can understand, don't play with me. Think twice about what you're about to do. This is how you remember that the lesson was important. Yeah, it was important because I told you it and it made sense. But it's also important because this is the outcome. If you do this, Uncle Jarue is going to whoop your ass. It's logical. But I think he be thinking like, Uncle Jarue, you kind of big. You ain't that shit. It don't feel like what you, young boy, do. I'm just telling you. And I love you, but it do. However you think this shit gonna feel, it's really gonna feel like that. It is. I'm sorry. But I use my powers for good. I don't be running around punching on people, choking on people, doing all that shit. Even though Philadelphia will make you, woo! Philadelphia. I love this city. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill me though, y'all. It's like, no. I'm out here trying to love on all the black people. Don't do it. I'm going to love on people, period. But I would love on all the black people because we need it. Grace. What is it? Support, love, and grace. But listen, yo, like always, my brother always bless me. I need my therapy. I like these Jones right here, too, man. I like these. The other mics, I'm real going to say, I think when people came in because they had the whole like apparatus thing to them, it's like, oh, this shit the real deal. Like because people done told me that. Like they would come. But these Jones, I like these Jones better because we don't gotta worry about, get the content. Pull them Jones up. It don't make the little noise and all that. So, we doing what we doing. But again, shout out to Swarthmore College. We about to be doing a solar program with them. Young folks 18 and older. You know what I mean? We looking for young women. But I'm taking whoever coming. I got a video. Y'all probably going to have to come watch the video with me. We going to talk about it because this is a real skill set. And I, like so many other things, I'm blessed to have the ability to try to help some of our young people get a skill set that travels. And solar is very important, and it's going to be even more important in the world that we're moving into. And if you know how to create it and install it, that's going to make you valuable wherever you at. Because if you learn how to do that, it's going to show you how to do other things, like talking to somebody that do carpentry. normally, or plumbing or electronics or electrician, from them learning that, it usually makes the other disciplines a little easier for you to be able to do once you learn one. And that's what this solar thing gonna be. So, you know, any of my young folks that might be watching, you know what I'm saying, parents, anybody, if you got 18 or older son or daughter, we leaning towards daughters, but it ain't just for girls, you know what I'm saying? Get with me, man. Let's get this skill set out. I'm gonna have a conversation with the young lady about how many people we gonna have Thursday. Definitely go shout out my man. Go check out his farm stand. Go check out the farm on 11th and Diamond, Life Do Grow Farm. Stan's farm is 49th and Gerard. It's a re-entry farm. Just see you in the 18th district CCIP. Shout out to all my kids. I love y'all. I know Uncle Jarue be yelling all the time, but I promise y'all this shit gonna pay off. Just all my people, man. Everybody that love me, man, and everybody who think they don't love me. You really do. And I'm gonna ride out like that. I'm gonna slide out like that. You know what I'm saying? PSA Philly service announcement. Takeover Tuesday, takeover love, support. And I got a whole bunch of grace for motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They had it for me. You know what I mean? I'm just giving back what people gave to me. Social activism, resources, and art. Shout out to my brother Took. This Glockaware Radio. Make sure y'all check out all our shows. I'm definitely going to be on my tour this week. I'm going to pop up probably tomorrow on a couple Johns. I'm going to see, because I want to go on everybody's shit for real. You know what I mean? And talk my shit. It's like, I want to be on everybody's John, man, because I love this opportunity. I don't know if people look at it how I look at it. Maybe I'm, you know, whatever, but this shit is hype to me. I like it. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, man, Took, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate all my brothers and sisters out there working towards our brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Just really, as corny as it may sound, trying to make our world a better place, man, because we need it. The world is changing right now, people. Black people in particular. Pay attention to that foreign news. Pay attention to America's foreign policy. Understand what these businesses are doing globally. See who linking up. You know how they keep talking about our young boys? They linking up and doing, yeah, the world doing that right now. So black people, we need to be on the front dealing with countries and businesses as groups of people. For real, wherever you at, we need to be linking up and messing with other people in other countries, businesses, the governments, whatever it is. Like, we need to be linking up and we need to be informed, yo. The world is changing, seriously. Empires fall. America had its run. What do regime change look like, people? That's all I'm saying. I ain't worried about it for real, for real. I'm going to adjust how I'm going to adjust. I'm going to be up on my information and I'll make sure my people are too. And I would love to have a show or two about that, about foreign policy and what is going on in the world. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. I love everybody. I know y'all love me. That's what we doing out here. I'm out. I'm the love boy again.